everybody, Ali Akbarian, your resident road safety expert, back again for another Q&A. Thank you very much for tuning in, and thank you very much for sending in those questions. We love them. And as I always say with my trusty subscribe pillow, please hit the button down there that looks a bit like this pillow and help us get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. We're almost at 500, so get excited, hit us to 500, and then let's go to the 1,000 subscriber mark. All right, to today's question. So we have a booster seat here at our assessment centre in Hornsby set up because today's question is around booster seats. So as many of you guys know, if you are working within the child disability space, what you will see or what you will understand is when we are looking at seating for children, one of the guidelines is we're very strict on, or the community, I guess, and the NDIS is very strict on, is to first try to see if standard available child seats are available for your child. And if they are a solution, they are available and suitable for your child, it is required that you buy them before you go and buy a specialist disability restraint. So we've had a customer that's tried that, and basically what they've found is they've got a booster seat that is similar to this one that works for their child. So this is not one of our customers, it's basically an OT that sent us a question around this. However, their child is very, very slim. So their child is like, I think it's, from memory, it's about 18 kilos or 15 kilos or something like that, which is around about kind of half of what the child in this size normally would be. So what they've asked us is, if there is a super lightweight child in this seat, is the seatbelt still going to work? So they have concerns about the seatbelt working. So basically what they're saying is, my child, if they're in there and I have an accident, is the seatbelt going to still lock like that? Or because they're so light, are they just going to keep going through, and is this seatbelt going to keep coming out like that? So that's a very legitimate concern, because what we know of seatbelts when we sit in cars is that we have to pull them pretty tight and pretty hard for them to lock in. And what then happens is most of us tend to think that that is the main way that the seatbelt locks. So what I wanted to explain is, I guess, how a seatbelt mechanism works, so you can understand that the weight has something to do with it, but it's not the whole story. So even if you have a child in here that weighs even half of what we said, so even if it's a 5 kilo child, this seatbelt will still lock. And the reason why is because seatbelts lock with two mechanisms. They've got two ways of locking. So the first way of locking is what I've shown you here. When there is a sudden weight pulled on the thing forward, very quickly it will lock it. However, inside the seatbelt mechanism, there is also a micromechanical sensor. And the micromechanical sensor is basically a crash sensor. So I guess the way I like to explain it in sort of a very, very basic terms, and this is not actually what's in there, but this is sort of an easier way to explain it, is you've got like a spring-loaded arm with like a ball on top of it, right? And then once the ball pops off the arm, then the seatbelt locks. So if you have an accident, the ball goes flying off that little arm, and then the seatbelt locks, and it's locked. So it's actually got nothing to do with anybody sitting in here. Once the accident happens and there is a sudden impact or sudden change of speed, that little ball pops off and the seatbelt locks anyway. So even if you have no weight on the seatbelts all lock up in the event of an accident in that sudden change in speed. So the short answer is yes, this seatbelt will hold your child in place even if your child is very, very lightweight. So there's no concerns about that. The main concern in using a restraint or a booster or anything like that is to make sure that the straps go properly across the hard bony sections of your body and they're properly fitted. And that means it's mainly to do with your height and not really to do with your weight. These things are super strong and they are tested to all these different kind of standards and all these different strength requirements. So the weight is not really the problem. It's generally the height that's going to cause the issue. So as long as we're fitting in there height-wise, weight is not really a main concern. If we're too light, don't worry, the seatbelt still will work in an accident, because not only will the weight of it have an impact, also the change in speed and the crash force also engages the seatbelt mechanism to lock. All right, so thanks very much for the question. Hopefully that answer helped with your question. Keep those questions coming in. We love those questions. And as we say always, hit that subscribe button down there and we'll see you next time.